Yeah, thank you, Dr. Abhay Jere. At the outset, I would like to thank Sri Durga Shankar Mishra ji for initiating such a very important competition challenge on developing, designing an iconic structure in the year of 75th year of celebration of our independence. India, although got independence 75 years ago, is a historically a nation which has been existing for about 4,000, 5,000 years. A lot of archaeological evidence exists even beyond that. And therefore, a structure which is to be erected, which is iconic, has to be not only be relevant today, but should remain relevant for next few centuries as well. For example, the iron pillar, one of the examples which was given is created in the year 375 AD by Chandragupta and still stands erect. So nearly 1700, 1800 years it has been in existence. Therefore, when we talk about iconic structure and in the year of 75th year of independence, what we need to do is it has to be aspirational one side, one which is a representation of a new India, a confident India, and therefore the values that we inculcated from centuries in our system, culture, they are also to be embedded. So on the one side, the structure should also have an embodiment of the knowledge that India produced, right from Nalanda, Takshilas of the world to today's universities and IITs. But at the same time, the work that is done in the past and in the present. How do we bring in an amalgamation of this in the structure in terms of use of local materials, be it some kind of stone from the South India, North India? It could be an amalgamation of the structural, marvel, which has all elements of materials drawn from all over the places, which reflect the mathematics which India has developed, including not only zero but many other theorems and all, right from Aryabhatta, Bhaskara on one side to the latest Ramanujan, who is very well known as a great mathematician of India. Similarly, from the Kannada of the past in the physics to C.V. Raman of the recent era. Similarly, in chemistry, Nagarjuna to the Venkat, who has got a Nobel Prize now recently. So both amalgamation of ancient and new and modern, not only of the present, but of the immediate future. So we have several architectural marvels which have been created. There have been a lot of structures which have been created, be it dams, roads, bridges, which are all one of the finest in the world. The Atal Tunnel in the very high altitude, or in terms of Konkan Railway, in terms of the bridge on the Brahmaputra River, which is very, very strong current being there. All of these are civil engineering marvels. Therefore, on one side, we must have a huge structure. Of course, there is a restriction on the size or height, which is 134 meters, which is around 45 to 50-story building. But how we can depict not only as an iconic structure, but how we can also communicate what we say as aspirational India. Therefore, whether it is Skill India, whether it is Digital India, whether it is our Make in India or Atmanirbhar Bharat, philosophy also should be embedded in the kind of museum. When someone is going up that particular structure, the viewing gallery is there, but viewing gallery to see not only overseeing the Parliament House, which is going to be constructed, the New Delhi city itself, but also the entire nation and its aspirations should be reflected in this particular tower or whatever we call it. Name could be different, but I think a grand tower. Sometimes I also was thinking about sun as a source of energy. Can we get in some philosophy of sun with 7 chariots or 7 colors, which represent the rainbow, and in terms of 7 different initiatives started by the present government from 2014, starting from Swachh Bharat Mission, Skill India, we have Make in India, we have Startup India, we have Atmanirbhar Bharat, Digital India. How can we represent all of those philosophies also? Because this structure has to remain for the next couple of thousands of years, not just centuries. Abhay, you are saying centuries, I'm talking about thousands of years, maybe 2,000 years, 3,000 years. And therefore, and it is not that it is difficult. In our own country, we have temples, whether Konark Temple, Meenakshi Temple, also Brihadeshwar Temple in the south. They all stood the test of time, whether it is earthquakes, whether it is heavy storms, winds, rains, for more than 1,500 years with no damage. Whereas the modern concrete buildings last for about 100 years. We have to bring them down. And therefore, we have, of course, structures like Golden Temple, Taj Mahal, Mysore Palace, Red Fort. We have several iconic structures in the last 300, 400 years, but something which is extraordinary, which reflects Indian knowledge systems, which reflects Indian scientific thought, which represents Indian values of what we often say, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, as well as on the other side, Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu. How these all values also can be embedded in the building or the structure or the iconic thing which is going to come up will be remembered by the whole world for several centuries later. And that's how we should look at. And the presentation which was shown does contain several examples, right from Australia to US, and therefore several new ideas will come. But another important feature of this is this has to be a collaborative movement. Therefore, on one side, architects, the other side, designers, engineers, social scientists, and how all of these people can come together and really bring out. We always talk about artificial intelligence in our modern subjects, which we are teaching in engineering curriculum. But the true intelligence comes from human brain. And how that can be reflected in this structure is what I'm looking forward to. And I'm sure looking at our Smart India hackathons, which we have been conducting, several other competitions and challenges which we are conducting, the kind of brilliant out-of-the-box ideas that come, we only can give a broad picture, or we can paint a broad spectrum, but actual details are to be worked out by the students who are the current students who are learning something new continuously, and bring in the philosophy of lifelong learning, collaborative learning also into this iconic structure, which is going to be the future of the not only India, but the future of the entire planet, which also brings in the value of environment, how we have to keep environment intact. I think many things will come to mind, but finally something will come out. And I'm sure it would be difficult for the judges or jury to find out which one of those are finest. You have 5 lakh rupees prize, 1 lakh rupee prize. So I think there are many people who would be takers for this. And that would be challenge for the jury to select the right kind of a choice for this iconic building. I think Honorable Prime Minister and the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs who have thought of this idea itself is an absolutely inspirational, which is going to create a spirit of innovation, spirit of inquiry in the minds of our students. So there are spin-off benefits. This is only a competition where 1 or 2, 3 people can win prizes, but essentially each one will start thinking in a different manner. Today itself, we had a short while ago workshop on design thinking. So this will promote design thinking amongst our students, our architects, our designers, and we will create something which is very big, which is very, very being proud of the nation. Thank you very much. Namaskar.